What's going on, guys? It's your boy HQ420. Welcome y'all back. Another episode, Showtime with the Cube. As always, I've got the powerful one with me, Corey Hughes. Corey, are you doing well tonight?
I'm well tonight.
Well tonight. I believe last time you said you had a little bit of an announcement to do on the show before we kicked off, right?
Did I?
Hey, that's what you had
I,
said.
I already did an announcement today. Am I supposed to do another
Okay.
announcement?
Well, re-announce. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Do the re-announcement.
All right. Shit, it's gonna be old news by the time we get to day 0 on Sunday.
Yeah, I know, but that's okay. People chime in at different times, so it's all good. Somebody might come by this later. Maybe they didn't get to watch day 0. Maybe they didn't watch the AM wake up, and then they'll be, oh, okay. So go ahead and let the viewers know what you got cooking.
All right. So I'm gonna take just a minute, and I'm gonna screen share this, and so before I hit the screen share button, for the last 6 months or so, me and my team, which consists of Tony, my Australian tech friend, who has been priceless in putting this thing together, as well as Jim, who will be our community manager, who is just an incredible human being, and I'm glad he's a part of our team. But we are launching a cryptocurrency probably around the end of the year or early next year, and it is based around the concept of independent media and funding independent media organizations and projects that have a hard time, coming up with funding for things. And so basically what we're doing is we are launching. We've already minted the token, by the way. It's already a real thing. We've already got it in hand. We minted 1 billion tokens on the Solana blockchain utilizing their new protocol, which is called SPL 2022, which gives you the ability to implement certain behaviors on the token. And so we implemented a 1% tax on transfers, right? And so the 1% tax on transfers basically is going to go to fund independent media projects, starting with our media partners. And we have a lot of backing so far. Our advisors are Charlie, Ryan Christian of Last American Vagabond, Chris Matthew of Forbidden Knowledge News, Steve Poikinen of AM Wake Up and Slow News Day, some guy named XCube420 who I heard of once or twice, and Lindsay Sharman, who everybody knows. And so our media partners thus far in this project are Macroaggressions, Forbidden Knowledge News, Last American Vagabond, AM Wake Up, my shows, of course, Day 0, Rogue Ways, Wheezy. We got Wheezy on there, Legit Bat, BG Cast, Raised by Giants. We got Ryder Lee, the After Dark Show with Don Rogers, Rained Out Rant Cast, and Rebunked with Scott Armstrong. And we're in the process of onboarding many, many more media partners as we speak. We're looking to have hundreds of media partners. If you're in the independent media space and you want to be part of our incredible project we have going on, go to imt.network, fill out the little contact form at the bottom, and we'll get back to you. And so fundamentally how it's going to work is this 1% tax on transfers is going to generate a fund, and every 90 days or every quarter, we're going to distribute those funds based on user feedback. Where does the audience want us to send this money, right? And we're going to have a couple different options. We're going to do distributions in bulk to, I think the very first distribution will be solely a bulk distribution, meaning if we can get as many media partners on board as possible, 50 or 60 shows, and we send out, we're calculating somewhere around 20 million tokens per quarter. So we plan on doing this consistently throughout the year, right? So every quarter we'll do something different. The first one will be a general distribution. Then the second quarter, we're planning on funding specific projects. If someone wants to make a documentary and they need $10,000 or, something like that, a specific project in mind, if they need funding so they can write a book or whatever, we're going to look at funding some individual projects. After that, we're going to look at funding an award, right? We're going to give out an award. I think it'd be good to maybe one day we can even do like a live award ceremony if we actually have some money to do anything. Um, but we're going to give out awards for excellence in independent media, right? Like right off the top of my head comes to mind Whitney Webb and her books were an amazing accomplishment in independent media. Give her an award for what she's done, right? Other people who've done things in independent media that are noteworthy, right? And just give and award them some funding. And then the last category that we have so far, and we're open to adding more, is charitable donations to organizations that support an independent media, right? This kind of came to mind when Assange was raising money to have to pay for the $500,000 for his airplane when he got out of jail, right? Things like that. If we could have been there and been up and running at the time, we could have funded that right off the bat. And the more projects that we fund, the more people know about the project, the more engagement with the token itself there will be, right? And this is a completely, fully doxed fucking project, right? This is not an anonymous project like all the dog shit tokens that everyone's putting their money into these days. Like, you know, real nigger Tate was a real token. I'm not kidding. It's a real thing. And it had a $50 million market cap at one point. That was a real
That's
thing.
crazy. That's crazy.
Crazy. And nobody knows who was behind it or anything like that. So people are desperate to put their money into something tangible, you know, and this is a way for them to do that and simultaneously fund projects that they're interested in. So I think it's an all around win. I think the more exposure it gets, the more media partners will get, the more, you know, in turn, it'll be like a perpetual cycle of exposure. And so I think it's going to do very well. And it can, the great thing about it is it can operate and be fully functional beyond our wildest dreams, even at a very low market cap. Even if it only held, say it held a $10 million market cap, which honestly, it's not even in the top 1,000. If you have a 10 million mark, you're in the top 2,000, 3,000, something like that. It's like nobody knows who the hell you are with a $10 million market cap, right? But 10% of that will be the fund for funding projects. And that would be basically per year as it would be replenished by the tax on transactions. That's $1 million a year that we'd have to distribute at a $10 million market cap. That's pretty wild. That's a lot of money for not a lot of, you know, attention to the token itself. I think that can be done with like between 1,000 and 2,000 holders of the coin itself, which is very low. But those are very reasonable numbers, and it can fund a lot of projects and do a lot of good in the independent media space, right? So that's the idea.
And that's going to be kicking off next year, right? That's going to be kicking off next year.
Right. We're in the process of raising money for the liquidity pool. We figure we'll have that done by the end of the year. Realistically, we're probably looking at January. If we can get it done quicker, we'll do it quicker, but we're pretty much looking at January. And then I'm looking at doing the first distribute. If we get it done by January, I'm looking at the first distributions of tokens to independent content creators who will be decided upon by you, right? We are going to be collecting feedback from the audience on how to use this money and who to support. And I'm sure the audience will bring to us people that we've never even heard of before, right? And I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's the idea. And I think that no one's ever done anything like this before, which is crazy to say because every bullshit idea that's ever been done in crypto has been done, it seems. And everyone uses this on Ethereum. They've had the ability to have a tax on transactions for a very long time. And that's usually just used to put money in the developers' scammy pockets, right? And so it's never been used for anything functional other than to put money in the hands of the developers to do whatever the fuck they want with. This has a specific purpose for where that money is going, right? The money that is returned to us in transfers is going to go to very specific causes, let's just say, and very specific shows and content creators. And so, and it's all going to be obviously open book. Every transaction that we do will be able to be traced. We'll post. We'll have everybody we fund will be listed on our website somewhere. You'll be able to basically audit all the tokens that we distribute. So It's that's something you don't get much in the crypto world today. It's all bullshit, and it's a lot of scams, and this will be a legit project in a sea of scams, basically. And so I think it's going to do extremely well when people realize that there are faces attached to it, and that's the biggest thing, because people are putting money into projects that they don't have any idea who made them. And fortunately, it's funny because some of these projects come out and they do decent, but then you'll have guys who are good at chain analysis and looking at the blockchain and figuring out where tokens are going, and people will be able to be like, look, you're making a lot of money, but these guys are just siphoning all the money out of here and out of here and out of here. And you can tell when a development team is doing nothing more than just siphoning all the money to themselves. So this is something very different and very transparent. So I'm very excited for it to get off the ground.
Okay. So that's great, guys. Be on the lookout for that. Of course, you'll be getting more details in the upcoming months on how to.
It just hit me that I'm going to have to talk about this all the time now, and that's another thing to add to my.
We getting you in marketing, okay? Now I know that. Look, guys. Okay, this is tough. Now, people who will frequent this show, all right, frequent the Day Zero show, that Corey and his live marketing, maybe a little bit dry on the delivery. Okay, let's just say that. All right, a little bit dry on the delivery, but we're working on that thing. Okay, and if it don't work as far as him doing it, I'll try to do it for him. Okay. That's just what happened. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. We wanted to make sure that everybody knew about that. Of course, he talked about it on AM Wake Up. He was on that show this morning, so you can definitely check that out as well. Of course, you've seen they're going to be partners as far as in this particular endeavor. So, Corey, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump over into The Penguin, episode 5.
The Penguin.
And before we...
it's good because it's fresh, because I just finished it half hour ago.
I did as well.
It took everything I had not to text you like 3 times throughout the show. Like, did you see that shit?
Yeah. Yeah, me and my girlfriend was actually watching this one. There's some of the shows that she's not interested in, like anything Star Wars. She is not interested in, period. I mean, in the story. But she's kind of gotten interested in The Penguin. Rings of Power, not interested in it. Not really. All right. Which I need to finish watching that. I'm going to get around to that. But Penguin episode 5, what I'm going to do, they had a mid-season trailer that they dropped last week. And so I want to go ahead and show the audience that, give them a little precursor, a little teaser, and then we'll jump in and we'll start giving this thing a little bit of a breakdown. So here goes that teaser trailer, mid-season trailer right now.
So who's got the power in this city? Falcones? The Maronis? That's what the streets are asking. Why the hell not us?
Some measly driver spun a bullshit story about me. He betrayed me, the daughter of the Falcone Don. What did they tell you?
I got a lot of heat on me.
We had a deal. We look out for each other. We don't fuck each other over.
After everything I've done for you!
What kind of man can't take care of his own mother?
You should never look at me again. Unless I get this done. Got a promise to keep.
You maybe got a problem.
I know you want to get in the fight, kid, but I ain't got no one else I can trust.
I want us to feel pain. I need him to suffer for what he's done.
Don't fucking touch her!
My father's legacy is dead. If you join me, you will have a new family.
Ever since I've known you, you had your eye on the throne. That's your chance. The keys to the fucking kingdom are here, Sophia.
We kill us. And then we take over the city.
Let's go! We're taking back Gotham!
All right, so there goes that mid-season trailer, and it actually had quite a few scenes from episode 5 in that trailer.
It's just so crazy because he's the goddamn Penguin. He's the Penguin, and they got you liking him and like wanting him to win, right? And he's the Penguin. Hello, how are they going to jive that in a future movie? I don't mean because you're going to be rooting for both sides.
Yeah, it's kind of got you
Batman because it's the default. It got you messed up. Yes.
So it really does. You're sitting there like, "Come on, get him, Penguin!" And then it's like it gets to a Batman movie, and you're like, "Well, Penguin, you got to go down." I mean, I don't see another way for this to happen. You know what I'm saying? You had your time in the sun. All right, you had your what they call it, the 15 minutes of fame. All right, but now it's time to come back to reality. So it does have you messed up.
We don't have any information on another Batman movie, do we?
Not exactly. Supposedly that the Batman 2 is supposed to happen in the winter. Okay. So I think this is going to be like
they're going to make it in the winter?
Yeah. It's going to be
like
cold.
They're going to start making it. They're going to start making it in the winter. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know if it'll be like that, but it's supposed
they're going to start. They're going to start making it
winter themed.
Oh, winter themed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, winter themed.
Oh, Mr. Freeze.
Some people were saying that, but you have to have a very modern take on Mr. Freeze, which I don't know how you would do that because this is not fantastical at all. This is more,
realistic,
based in reality. So what would a realistic Mr. Freeze? Maybe he use an ice pick to kill people. That would be his MO. Maybe he would work with some ice company that would be like his technical cover job.
He can work with some like liquid nitrogen something. He can work with liquid nitrogen and freeze the fuck out of people. Like
something like that. Something like that. So they could do that. I don't think that they're going to. I don't think they're going to throw the Joker out there for the next Batman. I don't think. I
don't want to see the Joker. I don't want to see the Joker for like 10 years.
For 10 years. Yeah. I mean, come on now. Now we're gonna have a DCEU, which they got to get a Batman out there as well. So I bet you're gonna see another Joker before 10 years. Yes, Corey. There's gonna be multiple Batmans at the same time. Are you gonna be able to handle this?
This is a bad deal. See, this is why the mafia needs to run Hollywood, so then they can make sure there's no conflicts like that.
Oh, conflict of interest. Well, technically,
you can't
this
be running
will be
Batman because he's running Batman. That's right, and then they'll break some kneecaps if somebody has a problem with it.
Okay, well, technically, this will be elsewhere. That's what this particular Batman series of films and potential TV shows they're called the Elseworld or Elsewhere, and then you have the canon DCU, which is James Gunn's DCU. Okay, so that's the way, which is going to kick off next summer with the Superman movie. That's going to be the official start.
Who is Superman?
Hold on, let's see. James Gunn, Superman. Who is playing? Okay, let's see. Is this right? Okay, David Cornsweet.
I don't know. Hey, at least I never heard of the guy. That's good.
Yeah, hold on. Let's get him. You gonna know him the minute you see him. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you gonna know this dude. Let's get a picture up here for people. Yeah, this cat. Here's right here. David Cornsweet. He might need to get a little bit bigger. I don't know.
What is he? What's he been in? I have seen him. I have seen that face before.
I've seen him, but he ain't really popped off the screen yet. But he is going to be Superman.
Is that an image of him, or is that like some AI shit?
That may be. Hey, look, I mean, James Gunn said he's going to blow people the fuck away. Not just blow them away, but yeah, this is...
So, what have we been angry at James Gunn in the past about? I'm sure it's something.
I don't know. He did all right with the Guardians of the Galaxy series.
That was good.
Yeah, so he did okay with that.
Okay.
He also did, if I'm correct, he did the Suicide Squad movies.
Oh, mm, I'll
Yeah,
give him
yeah,
a
he did the
pass on
Suicide
those.
Squad movies. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, so yeah, so you're gonna have multiple things going on at the same time as far as Batman's go. So you just gotta have to prepare yourself, Corey. Of course, we're gonna be making comparisons and contrasts as far as between these two different worlds. But let's go ahead and dive right into this. This has became a Sophia versus Oz uh, final four episodes. That's the way this seems it's going to be.
Well,
Kind of a
not just
standoff.
Sophia though. Not just Sophia though. And so the show begins with the um, realization that the entire Falcone family is dead, and that Sophia gassed them to death, and she allowed. I always forget this guy's name.
Johnny Vitti. Vitti.
Johnny Vitti. Johnny Vitti. He's still alive and chained up in the dungeon. But he then pleads, "Hey, you're gonna need me," and gets that speech out. And so, I think we know what happens.
Oh
From
yeah,
there.
the classic.
So,
Yeah, the classic. You're gonna need me speech.
right. That's
And she did need him because she needed some clean money. All right, because she is actually reconstructing the family and actually ditching the Falcone name, seeing how all the Falcones are dead. Now, this is kind of her rebirth, uh, because she has killed all the Falcons. All right, and Johnny Vitti was the last one. He was a cousin. He wasn't technically a Falcon, but he
right.
was a cousin of her mother. Okay, and Johnny Vitti knew the whole time what was going on between. I always call him Papa Falcone and Sophia's mother. All right, he knew what was happening. He knew that Sophia was set up. He knew that Sophia's father had killed her mother, and he actually brings up the fact that he was going to help her escape, and that he actually despises Sophia and Alberto because he feels like they are the reason she got killed, because she was going to leave earlier, but she came back because of the kids. What you think about that particular dynamic right there? As far as her, Vitti being the cousin, and do you believe that he was sincere in what he was saying to Sophia at that point in time? Or was it just a tactic to try to stay alive a little bit longer?
At that point in time, is there really a difference? Is
Right.
I don't think there's a difference at that point in time, because when you got that
Mhm.
gun to your head, you suddenly feel very differently about things.
Oh, so man, man, I felt so bad all those years ago. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, everything's coming out now. I tried to help your mama get away. It's like, yeah, you kept working for him. It's like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Oh man, so it was pretty good, and we had the police at the Falcon residence, and the police chief was kind of grilling Sophia, you know, and I don't know if he was there looking for looking to see if he was still gonna get his cut. That's what it kind of seemed like to me. Hey, am I still gonna get my cut? A little bribe action, because she kind of mentions it in passing.
Could
You know,
be, but also the fact that she killed all of them, and we don't know. A show like this could pull out some evidence 3 episodes from now that they didn't think of. Somebody was there and recorded it or something, right? So
oh
you
yeah,
never. I think that could be an ace in the hole for the writers, that if need be, they can always have her thrown back in Arkham over that, right? If need be, right? Someone can set
Okay.
her up in a manner, or someone can get her to admit what she did, like all bragging and stuff, and record that. Somebody can set her up big time. So I think that's one possible reason.
Well, the one person, the little girl that she allowed to live, you know, she could just, like, unbeknownst, just accidentally just say, yeah, she gave me some cake and said, let's go sleep. Because she kind of gave a false story to the
Yeah.
police. And then just be like, oh, yeah. I mean, for some reason, she wanted to go stay in the greenhouse. I don't know why. She bribed me with some cake. mean, I mean, that'd be pretty much it right there. So, I mean, that would put her at the forefront, which I believe the police chief kind of knows. He's like, I mean, gassed.
If it
Do we think?
walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a
Do
duck.
you telling me the Maronis broke in here and gassed the entire family?
You tell me
Is that what you're telling me?
the hangman gets out of fucking Arkham after 10 years, and all of a sudden she's the only survivor of a gas attack in a house or an accident? Like,
I just happened to be in the greenhouse all night.
Nobody's got that kind of luck.
Hey, I mean, what does it say? Damn, I can't think of the saying. I think it's something with a coin flips on heads every other time, or some shit. I'm bad with sayings. Squirrel finds a nut eventually. That's one of them.
Right.
All right. And she just happened to be the squirrel that day. Okay. That found that nut. It's like, man, hey, a puncher's chance. Hey, I just had a puncher's chance. What do you know? The night everybody got gassed, I just happened to be sleeping in the greenhouse with somebody else's daughter. I mean, hey, stuff like that can happen. Stuff like that can happen. And so we see Jillian. He's coming through and he's pledging allegiance to Sophia. He wants some of that punani. That's what he wants. He wants to get them skins. All right. I was just waiting for him to profess his love to her. Because the episode before, he was trying to go in for the smooch, and I was just waiting for him to come up and just say, "Hey, Sophia, let me get in on that thing," because he wants it. All right, and so I think he's going to play some type of prominent role at some point in time. I believe they're not introducing him as a character like this for no reason at all. I don't know if it's going to be for a double crossing. When he tries to profess love, or if he's going to get taken out at some point in time. But I think there's going to be, he's going to play a role in potentially the downfall of Sophia. What do you think? Because he may get rejected. Like he may get rejected in a particular way where he's like, you know what? Fuck this crazy bitch. I'm thinking there might be potential there.
By Johnny Vitti?
No. The Jillian guy, the one who was her psychiatrist in prison. Yeah.
That guy just gives me the creeper vibes, and like I don't know what to think of him. He comes back sucking up to her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I know what you did. That's not usually that's not the good way to lead off that conversation, because they might think you're getting blackmailed and just shoot you dead like instantly. So that's not a good thing. And so she doesn't trust him. You know that. She doesn't trust him at all. So she's going to keep him around, maybe because of whatever doors he can open. But there'll come a time when she doesn't need him anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I think he might get left by the wayside. She doesn't
need anymore.
Yeah, left by the wayside, and then maybe that will give Oz an opportunity via him. I'm thinking that could be a potential outcome here, because otherwise we have no reason to see him ever again. If you want me to be honest, like there really would be no purpose. So he has to have some type of skin in the game as far as the final outcome of this particular series. So it'd be interesting on where they're going to take that right there. Now, Oz had the plan. He kidnapped the Maroney's son, Sal's son. Okay, and so he set that up because he wanted to exchange Sal's son for some mushrooms, which is where the bliss comes from. So now we understand bliss is shrooms. I wasn't understanding at first, and I was just like, some shrooms. I was like, that ain't Is that what y'all been trying to get? But it looks like the bliss like grows on the shrooms.
Right. It's that red substance that was coming out of the top, which is interesting because like mushrooms don't do that. I've never seen any mushrooms or heard of any mushrooms that do anything even close to that. So, but they were like some weirdo. There were some weirdo Arkham mushrooms.
Right.
But yeah. So they're going to do the exchange. The Mrs. Maroney. What's her name?
I always just call her Miss Maroney. Hold on, let me see here.
So Miss Maroney shows up, and obviously everyone's going to betray everyone.
It's Nadia. Nadia.
And so you have the son of Nadia Maroney and the head of the Maroney family, who's still in jail at this point, and he's bragging on TikTok how the family's going to get what's theirs, and he's like, I'm over at my boy's shop and I'm getting a tattoo. Yeah. And by the way, we're going to kill all y'all motherfuckers, right? And so like
yeah, it's like you probably don't want to post that on TikTok. I mean,
no. And so Oz and the boys go over there and they kidnap his ass and all this stuff. And so, but to make a long story short, they go to meet up again with Mrs. Maroney, and they got the son in this van. And so everyone's betraying everybody. And Miss Maroney shows up and she's got shooters. And so Oz shows up and he's got the kid, and the kid's all soaking wet. And the kid walks over and she's hugging him.
My girlfriend called that. The minute he got out of the ride, she was like, oh, he soaked him in gasoline. I was like, she's so used to watching dramas and got bud. She's watched so many movies over the past couple years. She's probably watched 200 movies. Like, because every time I'm doing a podcast or anything like that, when we're doing Day Zero, but she's watching movies. Like, she just constantly watches stuff. So it's like she called it instantly. She's like, oh, yeah, he soaked in gas. I was like, what? And then I'll be damned.
I didn't get it till he flicked the lighter. At all. So,
yeah, you didn't know if it was a torture tactic because earlier, Sophia tortured Johnny by pouring cold water on him and forcing him to pretty much freeze to death out there. Yeah, so you're like, okay, something similar.
And so then they burn it up, and both of them are burning up, and then they're dead, and they're burning up, and it's like, holy shit. Because then it hits you that like all the Falcones are dead and the Maronis are dead, and all that's left is the father of the Maroney family. I forget his name.
Sal,
the Highlander, yeah. And so
him,
Salvatore, and then Sophia, and that's it. Those are the only two. And Sophia, she is ditching the name of the Falcones. The Falcones are dead, and she is was it a Gennaro?
Gigante. Yeah, that's her mother's maiden name. Now, they said in the comic books, what happened is that Sophia actually married into the Gigante family, but they just switched it for this. They said that was that's what it was in the comics, but they switched it up here.
Gotcha.
So she's taking the mother's maiden last name and applying that to a new family where the henchmen get paid. You know what I'm saying? And when she shot Johnny Vitti because he kept running his mouth, like she was like, so here's what we're going to do. Johnny's like, well, hold on. What are you talking about? Maybe you should say, pow. I was like, damn, Johnny.
He was a remnant of the old school mentality. And
right. Mm-hmm.
And because she was saying some stuff, like she admitted that she gassed them all. She's like, I gassed them all.
Yeah.
If you got a problem with it, fuck you. And, she was fulfilling the role of the hangman, if you ask me.
Yeah, she was actually fulfilling the what her father had planned for her anyway, which was to take over the business.
Yeah,
she's actually fulfilling what her father had planned for her to do all along.
He didn't plan on it this way, though.
Not quite this way, okay? He didn't expect it to look like this. But
No,
hey,
for
beggars
sure.
can't be choosers. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Mhm.
beggars can't be choosers. So at that point in time, she kind of earns the respect of the men there because the way she's going to run business is that everybody gets to eat, and that's kind of what Oz is saying to his men as well. Even though he doesn't really have that many men, he got like 5 folk. You know, he got like 5 people that like him, and so it's like, but he getting some things done with the 5 people that like him, and he actually tries to assassinate Sal in prison, but it doesn't work out. Sal does
Mm-mm.
get stabbed. I don't know how that didn't work out. I'm like, dang, man. I mean, you walk right in there, stab the man in the gut, and the man gets out. I'm like, how'd you fuck that up? I mean,
He must have killed him and taken the keys. And since it's just like
mhm.
Arkham Jail, then he could just walk right out because
You just walk right out, yeah, because ain't
right.
nobody
That's how
there
it goes.
watching. There's like 2 guards. Is that how this works? Is that how the
That's how it works.
prison
They
is?
gotta pull some comic book shit every once in a while.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's a suspend belief. Of course, people were right there immediately waiting to pick him up and take him to the hideout as well. So we appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he knew exactly who to call, when to call him. I don't know who gave him the phone, but he got to the hideout quickly. But it didn't help him with his gut wound. I say, dang, y'all ain't got no street doctor or nothing. Isn't all these thugs and stuff supposed to have a street doctor? You know, well, like that. What's that movie? That Hotel Artemis. I think that's
I
the
didn't
movie.
see that.
Yeah, I think the premise of that movie is it's a hospital for villains, pretty much.
Oh, kind of like the Continental is the hotel for villains.
Yep. 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 So that was the kind of the premise of that movie. So I mean, ain't you supposed to have you a guy, right? That's gonna be able to stitch you up in the middle of the night. You call him up. Hey man, my boy got stabbed in the gut, man. I need you to stitch him up. I mean, you're supposed to have somebody on speed dial, Sal. I mean, you slipping out here, okay? We need you to do better. So we see that Sophia's taking over the family. Oz gets his shrooms, but they are damaged whenever the fire alarm goes off, and it almost shoots like the stuff from the fire extinguishers down on them. I don't know if
Mhm.
that was planned or not for that to happen to kind of
I don't
ruin
think
the
so.
stash.
It looked
Yeah,
accidental.
yeah, but that
But
kind of ruins everything.
he ends up with 2 buckets left. And so, one thing we didn't mention that we'll just kind of throw in there real quick is that Oz has Victor go pick up his mom and bring her to this hideout in whatever the fuck the name of that town is that
Yeah,
nobody
Crown
ever
Point,
goes to,
Crown Point.
Crown Point.
Yeah, that's
And
where that's
so,
the most devastated part of Gotham from the flood.
she's hiding out there, and Oz then takes Victor to go and look at. He goes to this old building, and they start breaking down the door and stuff.
Yeah,
And
the
it turns out that
underground tunnel. Yeah, underground tunnel.
he's got access to the old trolley, the underground trolley that used to run throughout Gotham. And so it looks like he's gonna end up having a henchman hideout in this
Isn't that what it
old
looked like
underground
in
town.
Batman 2? Isn't that what it was? Wasn't his hideout underground?
It was very
If I'm
similar.
correct. If I'm correct, almost like a trolley train setup system underground that was abandoned.
It was
I
very
think
similar
that's
to that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. Now, he has a couple women in his life. The prostitute that he hangs with, she tells him to fuck off. All right, shit's getting tight right now. Okay, so she says you need to leave. Oz goes to get her, so obviously Oz cares about her. Like he
Mhm.
actually cares about her, even though she's like a hooker. Um, and so he goes to pick her up. He said, "Oz, I'm not going. All right. So you need to bounce. Okay, it's just all there is to it." And so we've got that aspect of it. So he gets let down by her, as far as her kind of abandoning him. And then when he goes to console his mom pretty much says, "You're a loser. You got me in the same situation I was when y'all were boys." You know what I'm saying? I'm in this apartment, ain't got no electricity, no running water, no nothing. It's like, is this how a man takes care of his mama? And so the reason that he thinks about the extra trolley system because he's going back through some change, and a little pendant falls out, and so that kind of pops up in his mind. And so, is this true, Corey? Because I don't know a lot about drugs. Um, the mushrooms, they need to grow in a dark place. Is
It
that
ends up
true?
being
I thought
it ends up being cyclical. You can do them in the dark. There's some that will grow fully in the dark. There's others that you end up doing cycles on, 12-hour cycles. So there's a couple.
Okay.
It depends on what variety it is, but some of the albino strains can go 24 hours in darkness.
Okay, because I thought that was what was it? I thought that was weed that had to be like in the dark, black lit. Is that right?
Weed, you'll run the same thing. You'll run a 12-hour cycle on weed also.
Oh,
Remember,
okay.
it's supposed to mimic the sun, right? So
Got you. Okay, so that's the premise there. Well, they kind of made it seem like the darkness was like key and crucial to growing this particular product.
oh, for the first when you just grow mushrooms, for the first couple months, you start off with a bag full of dirt and spores, and you just kind of let that ferment, and that is in complete darkness, and that can take 2 or 3 months to ferment. But then you take that out of that bag and you break it up and you mix it with another substrate, so you can basically spread that out, because what you end up with is a very concentrated thing of spores, right? It's like dense. And so you break that up with some other substrate, and then you have like all this dirt looking stuff, right? That is just ready to grow. And once you get into that phase, you'll again leave it in the darkness until they start to pop. And then we would put them, we just had them like on a rack next to our kitchen that was covered up. And then we had like a grow light that we would put on 12 hours a day. And
Okay.
then that only took a month. That only took a month of doing that. And then the whole fucking batch, like once we plucked everything out of that first batch, they had to dry for a week or so. But after that, like the second they just kept, since it was such a dense spore substrate mix, we ended up getting 3 or 4 batches out of it. They just kept growing as we pluck them. They would just keep growing and growing until like they kept growing. But then you could tell there was like some funky ass mold growing on the shit after a while, and that's when we're like, that's enough. And then we threw it out. So
so this has a little realism behind it then, as far as
those buckets they had,
the initial stages,
because they only end up salvaging 2 buckets, right? All the rest got trashed. But those 2 buckets look good, and those things could definitely grow well down there. Remember how they had them? They had them all hanging from the ceiling and all that shit, right? Like,
right.
Nobody does that. That's for Hollywood. But I assume a couple episodes we'll see him have all that stuff up there again.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so this episode kind of ends with that. As far as Oz and Victor setting up their new hideout. As far as, because Oz is gonna need some men. Where is he gonna get these men from? Henchmen.
Rent a thug.
You just call them up. You just dial it up 1-800 rent a thug. I don't know. I think that might be too many numbers, but we'll punch it anyway. Oh man, rent a henchman. You know what I'm saying? We got, that's almost like your dating websites. It's kind of the same thing. It's like, well, how much you paying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'll be loyal as long as you're paying well. All right. If you're not paying well, but that kind of seems to be the premise of how Oz and both Sophia want to operate business, is making sure that the people that's with them get paid as well. So, it's going to be interesting to see that dynamic of how he actually gets additional men. Now, I do believe from the trailer that we seen, that I seen at the end of this episode, it does look like he's going to be having some dealings with the triads. Okay, as far as bringing them on potentially, and then I seen a black guy that I hadn't seen on any of the other episodes. So I think we're gonna have another crime family per se introduced with some people of Negro descent. Okay, that he might bring on as well. So I'm not sure. Do you know? Because as far as you got a little background history. Do you know of any other crime families that were in Gotham during that time? Maronis, Falcones,
No,
Triads. Nothing
not
really comes
really.
to mind. Of course, when you start talking about the cartoon series, they never really dug into that aspect of it, which is what probably a lot of people, if you're a millennial, that's probably what you grew up on, was kind of the cartoon series. So it more kind of just delved just with your main villains. And so you didn't really get into the whole quote unquote mafia style shows and things of that nature. First off, because it's not suitable for the animation that would be put on just like your Saturday morning cartoons. So Oz is somehow he's going to assemble a crew. All right, he's going to begin his operations down here in the underground trolley, and we're going to see the dynamic as far as how he ends up taking Sophia down. Now, I don't believe that Sophia is going to get killed at the end of this. I think that there'll be a likelihood that Sal will die, but I think that Sophia might get sent back to Arkham. What do you think? He might set her up somehow, and then she gets sent back to Arkham.
Maybe. Well, she approaches him at the end of the show and wants to have an alliance to take over the city. It's always
with Sal, yeah,
right. So, what do you think? You think he's going to take her up on that?
I don't know. They've been feuding for years, but with the Maronis and the Falcones.
Even if he just pretends, even if he says yes, neither one of them are going to trust each other for a while. So he could just say yes just to get a breather and reformulate plans, which would probably be the right thing to do,
Right. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting because Sophia's looking for a particular answer from Sal, and he gives her the answer that she wants, which is like, I would never send my daughter away. You know what I'm saying? That's what she was kind of looking for. Because Maroni seems to be a lot more, a lot less cutthroat as far as when it comes to family. Like
right.
he's not ready to disown. You know what I'm saying? Disowning a family member used to be a regular occurrence. It used to be something folk did all the time. I mean, they had like 12 kids, so it's just like, I mean, if I boot a couple of y'all, I mean, fuck it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, man, you going to do what I say. And say, if you mess up the family name, I just disown you. Okay. That's just it. You can't have the family name no more. So Sal gave the answer that Sophia was looking. So allegedly, they're going to be forming an alliance. Now, I don't know how much of the henchmen and family members, things of that nature that is left to contribute to this cause, but they're getting thin. Okay, they're getting thin. I mean, because some of the people that Sophia killed in there was henchmen as well. It wasn't just all Falcons. There was some henchmen in there too. So it's starting to get thin. And one but about 10, 12 guys in that room.
Yeah.
So I mean, we starting to get down to the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? We'll be in the final four right here shortly. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. I do think that Oz's hooker friend, I think she's going to get killed.
I'd say there's a good chance.
I think she's going to get taken out. All right. I think she's gonna get taken out. So I do believe that's gonna happen. So Corey, do we got any predictions for the rest of this series? That you see, I kind of gave mine. Do you have anything different from what I've said?
I honestly have no idea where they're going to go with this. They can't kill off either Maroni or Falcone, or what's her name again?
Oh, yeah, Sophia. Yeah,
Last name.
Gigante.
Gigante.
Yeah.
Good Italian name there, Gigante.
Oh man, speaking of Italian, I had a buddy who just came back from Italy. He was gone for 11 days.
Did he
went
come
over
back
there
with an accent?
No, not quite, but they changed his computer at work to everything in Italian. So so when he pulled that up today, everything was in Italian. But he did say he went over there for honeymoon / wedding / whatever. But he did say that the issue that he has with Italy is that if you want something else besides Italian food, it doesn't exist. I mean, so it's just like you want to wake up in the morning, wake up and you're like, man, you know what? I want me some French toast and some eggs and some bacon, nigga, please. I mean,
they eat pasta for breakfast over there, I think.
Yeah, man, they wild, man. Of course, all their pasta's handmade and all that stuff every single time. But he's like, man, every once in a while you're able to find like a McDonald's or a Burger King. He was like, every city you went to, they had like one place that would like serve American food. But if you woke up wanting some Mexican or some Chinese and all that, it said it doesn't exist. So everybody who keep talking shit about America, it's like, Bo, you can wake up in the morning and get you a burger, or you wake up in the morning and get you a burrito. Okay, I mean that's all I got to say. So if you want to move, then get the fuck out, man. So you go somewhere where you got one choice, okay? And they won't let you have no IVF or no surrogacy neither till you get your ass out of here. All right, so that is episode 5 of The Penguin. Guys, let us know your thoughts if you're watching this show. If you're not watching this show, Corey, what are those folks doing? Are they not with it? Maybe you just don't have Max. And in that case, I don't know. There might be particular places where you can go.
They could have a brain injury or something.
And hey, if anything, man, a lot of times they let you get these. If you had never had Max before, if you cancel it for like 6 months or something, it lets you get that shit on the cheap, so you can watch it. You can wait for all the shows to come out, and then you can binge watch it like a 7-day trial and then cancel it, which I'm okay with. But that's going to be a problem because then Doom Prophecy's coming out right after this, so it may be back-to-back bangers. There's potential on that. HBO usually does good on their shows. If there's one you're going to pay, well, if there's two you're going to pay for, it'd probably be Prime because you get so many benefits from Prime, and then Max.
Prime is bribery, dude. That's all there is to it. Prime is straight bribery.
Hey, look, Amazon Prime credit card, you get everything 5% off, even the membership. And sometimes you get special deals, 10% off. I'm trying to tell you, man. Those points add up quick too, especially if you're ordering a lot from Amazon. There ain't no reason why you shouldn't have one. They keep denying Corey, but he's gonna get in there, okay? Corey, we're gonna get Corey in there. I'm gonna send him a letter. All right. Handwritten one, all right, by candlelight. I'm gonna do this with the wheel tip pen. That's what I'm going all the way back, Benjamin Franklin style. That's how we're gonna get down on this. Let us know your thoughts in this conversation below. Oh, Corey, I meant to tell you, we got Beyond the Cube this week. Of course, we have another episode Showtime with the Cube, but be prepared. October 31st, we're going to be talking about horror icons on that Beyond the Cube. So have that in your mind. Okay. Maybe your Mount Rushmore.
Me. I was going to hijack the show in the beginning, and I forgot to hijack the show in the beginning.
I asked you what you were going to do, but you weren't sure.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm
going to hijack it for 5 minutes. So, okay. And then we're going to go. But I watched fucking Deadpool versus Wolverine. And it was killer. I found some salvation in there. I found a way that they could save everything and not be so stupid about shit. Yes. It was so good.
Okay,
I liked it a lot. Yeah, yeah, nah.
I don't
So
know,
I
man.
thought the fucking opening scene when he dug up what's his name's body with the
Oh yeah, Logan's.
adamant, and he had the adamant, and then he was just stabbing all those motherfuckers coming through the portals. I was dying. It was so good, and then the whole story was good. Where he got him, the fact that he was wearing the yellow spandex, like they joked about in all the movies.
Mhm.
Everything about it was good.
So you
Everything,
felt it was killer.
killer. Definitely better than the second one, which was like just a filler. It seemed like the first one was good, but this one was killer, and I think it opened the doors to them being able to fix a lot of stuff in the future. So
Okay. Oh, for Marvel to be able to fix things.
yeah, they can use
Yeah,
this
and
time shit to fix shit.
they are fixing things. They're canceling some of these shows. In movies.
But overall, I thought the plot was killer. Everything
Mhm.
about it. The dude with the British accent was he was good too. Everything about it was good. So I was surprised because I wasn't planning on liking it at all. In fact, I didn't even want to watch it. And they put it on upstairs, and I went and sat down for like 5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be stupid." And then like an hour later, I'm like, "This is damn good." So yeah,
Okay.
I almost texted you, but
Okay. I don't know. At times it was a little bit too goofy for me. But I mean, I guess that's the premise of it. That was
oh man, there was one point. He's like, man, I'm used to getting pegged, but Disney isn't. And then he like looks at the camera. I'm like, oh my god, did Disney really just let that fly? Like Disney let a lot of shit fly in that movie. Um,
yeah. Well,
Still,
they
Ryan
were trying to
Reynolds'
make
best
some
work.
money. They
Ryan
were trying
Reynolds'
to make
best
some
work still
money.
his Mint Mobile commercials. So I feel about
That's
that.
still his best work. That's still what we're tabbing as his best work, guys. We appreciate everybody for checking us out. If you listen to us on podcast platforms, hit the follow button there. YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter. Make sure you're following. Okay, we're gonna be back to you next Tuesday with episode 6 of The Penguin. And we'll be back with you actually this Thursday for a little Beyond the Cube action, some shenanigans. So be there, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, from your boy XQ420, the powerful one, Corey Hughes. We'll catch you on the next Showtime with the Cube. Peace out.